Hello, eRank. Yeah, welcome to another Thursday where Starla chokes herself on a giant coffee mug there.
You're gonna pay extra for that.
Yeah, Starla's back, by the way.
I'm back, but please excuse the space. It's not as beautiful as it normally is. Mark is Christmas shopping, so you guys get Amazon Box Mountain in the background.
Oh, I think I've spoke more to the Amazon driver than anybody in the past few weeks. It's like every day. Oh,
is it cold there right now?
Cold, yeah. We had freezing fog and snow for the past couple of days, but
Yeah,
very pretty.
Yeah. Oh, it has been so cold the last few days, and it's been like Christmas spirit month for my daughter's school. So they got to wear all these. I mean, they don't have to.
I saw her elfin one. She looked amazing.
Yeah. Yesterday was dressed like an elf day, like a Christmas elf, but she wore like a full Lord of the Rings.
She was
like
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
It was,
she had the attitude right in the pictures too, as well.
Yes. Very regal, yeah. And I asked her, I said, did anybody get it? Did any of the teachers talk to you? She's like, well, a couple people did. And I'm like, well, then nobody at your school is cool.
Oh.
But the point was that her getting all dressed up every day, she doesn't want to bring her big coat, so she's been standing at the bus stop freezing in her
poor
crazy
thing.
costumes.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, happy Thursday. I'm back. I had a couple of busy weeks, but now I'm here. Hopefully you guys tuned in on my channel because I was critiquing Etsy shops for like a week every single day. So that was fun. But because my voice can't stand to stream twice in a day, I went ahead and passed the torch over to, it was Bryan who was with you, right?
It was Bryan, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, Bryan's excellent. We love Starla, but oh, Debbie, is that a Grinch? No, Debbie ordered me to be festive, so festive.
I'm not festive today. Well, I was wearing a nice kind of Christmassy black sweater, and I ended up like having to our laundry room's here, and I just pulled this wrinkly shirt out of the dryer and put it on because I'm burning up because we're having to blast the heat because it's so cold out. So
yeah, same. This is just a wee t-shirt because the heating's on all the time just now.
But guys, we don't really have a topic today, so we're happy to answer any questions that you may have, whether they be Etsy, SEO, marketing related. By the way, speaking of marketing, Pam, did you see that on TikTok you can go around and click little in the top left, this little ticket icon on everybody's profile and get a little bit of money to go shopping with TikTok Shop?
Oh, cool. Yeah, the TikTok is definitely pushing TikTok Shop. I sort of signed up for it and messed up badly, so I didn't finish signing up. And they mail me just about every day going, here's $100 for this. Here's money for this. I'm like, I can't use it because I can't figure out your system because I'm dumb.
Man, I'm seeing a lot of people mention having success selling on TikTok Shop, which is going to get real complicated if TikTok ends up getting banned in the US. So I'm
getting banned in the US.
It did pass.
Definitely getting banned. Oh, right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe they're trying to, make as much money as possible before everyone, has to move ship. But with that in mind, Brock Johnson, he's my favorite Instagram educator. I highly recommend anybody who does any type of marketing on Instagram to go follow Brock. He made a very valid point. He said that if TikTok goes away, people are all going to move to Instagram and start, the Reels strategy. If you recall last year, Reels were like the best way to get people buying and to, advertise. And then for a while, it kind of faded out because Instagram changed the algorithm and it got really saturated. But if all of those TikTok people in the US move to Instagram, we're going to see another resurgence of, success from Reels. So if you're in the US, or even if you're not in the US, and if you sell to a US market, I highly recommend making sure that you get your butt on Instagram and start, planning a Reels strategy, even if it's just you, holding up your product and taking, your phone and panning over it, just to get your start. because I have a feeling that it's going to become really, really hot again really fast.
Yeah, people are going to be jumping to all of those. And well, you're on YouTube as well, because if you have a Shopify store, you can link that to your YouTube and make shoppable links. So on YouTube, which is another way. But yeah, I think TikTok was only going to be a short-term thing until they sorted stuff out, because I'm seeing so much about what people used to say, I bought this on Temu to see if it was a scam. Now they're like, I've been scammed on TikTok Shop. So
Right.
everyone's jumped in that there's a lot of good sellers there, but there's a lot of not good sellers there as well.
Yeah, I think it's all about building brand loyalty, and that's why it's important that no matter what platform you're utilizing, you can't just show, you can't just show product, 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 buy, buy, buy. You have to show a little bit of your personality, let your audience get to know you, create a brand around, not just buy, 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 but a brand around why you love what you do, why you're passionate about it. Here's a work in progress. Here's me making something or designing something, asking your audience for feedback. What should I make next? What colors should I use? All of these things can help to foster that sense of community, and you can do that on TikTok. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on Etsy. And in fact, one of the main things that we discussed during Critique Week last week was, making sure that you are inserting yourself as the seller into your brand so that you can differentiate yourself from the people who are drop shipping junk and the people who are, posing as small businesses when in reality, they're giant companies pretending to be little businesses. It's those little creative touches that you put in areas like your about section and your shop owner photo and even your branding itself that can help to make people feel safer when they purchase from you.
Absolutely. This was my word of the year for this year was authenticity, for that and many reasons. People are fed up of being scammed. People are fed up of drop shippers or print on demand who literally don't care that you can do any of these things, but in a caring way. I mean, we can't drop ship on Etsy, but even if you're drop shipping, you can build a brand in that you understand what you're buying, who you're buying it for, the quality of it and everything. But so many people are coming on they've been sold that they can make a quick buck, and it's not going to happen. But what this is doing is it's hurting. Customers are now seriously worrying when they go to buy things. We used to have the good thing with Etsy. People would go, well, at least this isn't Temu. I know it's all right. Unfortunately, Etsy's lost that good feeling. So we all have to build our own brand, and the videos and everything are the way to do it, because if you literally have your thing in your hand, if you're making it or showing how you design it, people know it comes from you. They can get to know you. In fact, when I started on Etsy, I was talking to my mum about this. For everyone who was there way back in the beginning, when there was little chat rooms on Etsy, whenever I was buying like a gift of, say, you were looking for like candles or soap or something for a nice homely gift for someone, how do you choose what's good? Because there's millions of people making soap and candles. It would be people that we were in a chat room chatting to, because you'd got to know them. That was it. Just like, okay, their shop's great. I like this person. I'm going to buy from this person. So we can totally do that. Not TikTok, but with Instagram, with YouTube, with Facebook, everything. Make your personality be part of the thing. And that can be very much when you're talking about what niche are you going to be in and stuff. If you are a live action role player, I don't know why I always go for this. I don't know anything about this, but if you are this live action role player, you have all the stuff, you have the personality, dress up as you dress up and say, here's this cool thing. And the people come and go, that's someone like me, that's someone I like.
Exactly. And I mean, that's how I discover brands. I sell book themed items, but I buy book themed items too. I buy things from other sellers, and most of the time the way that I find them is scrolling through Instagram and I'll see, a video that I like, or, oh, they're showing off a cool product and it's from a book that I love. So I feel like it's just, yes, it's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't want to do the thing that is a lot of work. But you have to remember that the easy thing is the thing that everybody's going to do. It's the extra mile that is going to take you farther than the competitors who aren't willing to do that extra thing, or the competitors who don't know how, or the competitors that are just so obsessed with making a quick buck that they completely forget the how on, how you connect with the people so that you can make that money. Our Etsy shop, it had a slow start just because we officially license with authors. It takes a lot of time to work with authors, to work out arrangements with them to make their merch. And then, we have to design products after we've read the book so that we know, the little references and things that are going to be meaningful to our audience. But over time, I had a lot of people when I first started, they're like, well, you're not making very many sales. Yeah, it's a small niche and it takes a lot of time to do that. Not to mention, if I was putting 100% of my time into it, it would probably be more successful, but I only have so many hours in a day. But this Christmas, we finally got that wind like in our wings. And we had within a year we made about 100 sales, but now we're almost to 200 sales, and we've gained that other 100 just since October. So in that tiny window, we sped up, where it took that year of grinding and pushing and, reading books and working with authors. And we put in all that grunt work, the stuff that people aren't willing to do, doing all the research, taking our own photos of our POD products, all these things that are expensive and time consuming. But now that wind is starting to carry us and we're feeling it. And these are the things that most people are unwilling to do.
Yeah, and this is what I like about you giving advice from your shop and everything, because it's authentic. Words. Oh boy, because it's authentic. You are saying this is what somebody who knows what they're doing opens a shop, and it's, yeah, Starla could have spent thousands on ads in places just to get the numbers to be able to make a YouTube video to go, I made 10,000 sales in a week or something. But no, this is an authentic way of how shops grow. And for many of us, my holiday season has been awful. I've just shut my shop for the year in disgust, and I'll do better next year. But for many of us, those last month or two can be more than the whole rest of the year put together as well. So if you've put the groundwork in place, so this is where a lot of people kind of give up. They'll start their shop in February or March. By the end of the summer, they're like, this is terrible. If this doesn't work, it's not what I was promised, and they'll give up. And I'm like, don't quit just before Christmas. You don't know how well you've done until you've been through a holiday season. So I'm so happy that you guys, your shop's done great, because you've put in the proper work, and it's been nice. It's like you enjoy the books, you contacted authors that you enjoy, you buy things, you're taking pictures of them, you're making sure that your stuff's good quality. So that's how you're supposed to do it, guys.
Exactly. I mean, it's not ideal. It's a pain. It's time consuming, but it definitely pays off over time. Oh, Pam, that we knew that we were going to get the GPSR questions, and they're here. So are you ready? Are you ready to get into it?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any updates on GPSR for digital sellers? And Sprouted Dreams also said, yes, please let us know what to do with our digital products. Deactivate?
Yeah. Okay. According to Folksy, this is the UK ripoff of Etsy, but they've dug in and looked and everything. As far as I can tell, at the minute, digital items do have to be part of the GPSR, which is an absolute pain, because you don't have a chance to choose where you ship to with digital items. So my only update is message Etsy repeatedly and constantly until they give you some answers. I have the feeling Etsy are very, very good at saying they did this with Google Analytics when it went to GA4. They were sitting there saying, we don't know anything about this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Oh, we've done this today, like the last minute. So hopefully that's what they're doing. They have made some changes in our shipping profiles. We now have Europe and non-EU Europe, or it is separated out, but they haven't told us anything about that, what countries that includes, if that's what that does with Northern Ireland. But they've made some changes. I have a feeling they're just about to drop an article or do some changes.
Tomorrow's the date, right? It's the 13th.
It's tomorrow, yes. But we don't have a whole lot of answers, to be honest. We're all working on it. We're talking to people that have a little bit more legal expertise, because even when we're reading the legal documents, I'll read it and I'll go, oh, here it says this. And someone else will come back and go, no, but that means that. And okay, don't know. We don't know. If it's open to interpretation, that's a very not cool thing.
Another GPSR question: how does it affect sellers who are based in the EU?
Right. You don't need authorized person. You don't need a person. You are your own liable person, but you still have to have all the safety protocols in place, which we probably should have already had in place, but we didn't know about. So that is, I haven't looked into this deeply enough, but that is along the lines of all your raw materials that you buy to create your item should come with their own safety certificate. So keep a note of what raw materials you put into your items. Keep that documentation, and we all should be doing this. I know I am not. I need to start doing this. And then you just want to be thinking of take a look at your item. I have an item. Seen Starla always does this. I have an item, so you've got to look and say, what could be the problems with this?
Baby could choke on it.
Exactly. A child could joke on it. So absolutely, all I'm doing with this is I don't want to get into the child toy things. So not suitable, keep away from children, keep away from pets. There you go. And then how do I care for it? Don't wash it, just dab it with a cloth or something. And then this protects your back anyway, because if someone comes back to you and said, I put this in the washing machine and it's turned out awful, hey, I told you not to, your problem. Or if your care instructions say don't put in your mouth and they say I put it in my mouth and choked on it, yeah, that was your fault. This is where I assume you've got it in the US as well. We've got it in the UK on products. It'll say
don't eat.
Yeah, it'll say things like careful, coffee may be hot. Like, I hope it is, or in a bag of nuts, it will say care may contain nuts. Hope so. But they just put these things in so that that if you're allergic to nuts and you've bought a thing that clearly says may contain nuts, then the company's done its best to be as safe as it can. But yes, I don't know all the regulations. I don't know how we have to store that information and stuff. But I would say for all of us, because my spidey senses have been telling me that because this is going to be a global thing in one way or another. Everyone else is going to want to jump in on this. The UK will probably follow next year. I think America is going to follow pretty quickly afterwards, because you don't want to be caught out that you have to have a certain level to ship to the EU, but they can ship any old tap back to you. So everyone else is going to go, you've done this, right? We're doing that. So we're all just going to have to keep traceability of all your raw materials, which absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. I've been seeing all over the place a lot of the clothing and stuff from these fast fashion sites like Temu have, terrible chemicals and things that are making people sick, and, cancerous materials. And I can understand why. It's definitely going to make things harder. And until it's every time something new, takes place, it takes time to adapt. And the best way to, I think, adapt to changes like these are to take a step back, control your controllables, and stop and observe how the big guys are doing it. Right now, I don't think that our goal should be to find answers, because right now there aren't any, aside from, the vague stuff that we've heard. We need to push platforms for answers, like Pam said, but we also need to give things a little bit of time. These changes haven't started yet. We haven't had enough time to really see how they will, play in. And it's the same when GDPR came into play, where everybody was panicking. What do we do with customer data? What about these? What about that? And everybody thought that they were going to have to shut down their businesses. And many people did. They contacted me and said, oh, I'm going to have to shut my whole business down. And it ended up not really being that big a deal at all. We just needed to give things time to settle so that we knew what we needed to do. So yeah, and this is a good question. What documentation can I have if I sell PDFs and Canva templates? Right now, I dare say that there's not going to be any like official answers, but it might be worth your time to make sure that you have something in writing that in your Etsy shop that states you need to have a Canva account in order to, that way, if they make a purchase, there's nothing that they could consider misleading. I wouldn't worry about, for somebody said, what happens, like, I'm wondering that too. Don't get a paper cut when you print. I wouldn't even be worried about if it's something that they're printing, you don't need to give safety instructions for their printer or safety instructions for the card stock that they may be using. That would literally, they could print that on anything. You can't have safety instructions for anything that someone could print on.
Yeah, that's the safety instructions that come with the printer rather than with your file.
Right. So only focus on the things that could go wrong, or things that could lead to confusion, or things that could lead someone to feel misled. Make sure that those are the things that you state. You need to, this is what you'll need. These are the minimum requirements to complete this, purchase and use this product correctly. Which, we're kind of, most of us, I'm assuming that if you sell digital products, you probably already do that, right? Like, you're probably already saying, hey, if this is a Canva template, you need to have a Canva subscription.
Yeah, I think you're so right. This probably isn't as complicated as it feels, because there's so much documentation they've had to make documents that'll cover what the most massive businesses are doing, and they haven't necessarily thought about us little guys. It's probably a lot simpler than we think it's going to be, but hey, it's a good time to take a break just now anyway, to be honest. Take a step back.
Slow season. Like, it could not be at a better time. January is the slowest.
Yep. And we will figure out everything we can. Everyone else will figure out everything we can. And yeah, if the majority of your sales are to the EU, then it's a different matter. But I think many people, it's not the hugest of markets, and we're coming into the quieter time. I see Jessica, thank you very much, has talked to Etsy. The support specialist was hopeful that shipping profiles will be available for digital items in the next update. So Etsy are aware. Yes, hopeful. Yes. So Etsy are aware of all of these things. If you've been in any of the forums, you'll see people I've been talking to Etsy. They are aware of it. What you'll get back from the individual support person might not be the best answer, but they pass it on, and there's some big bugs hearing all of this. So I am sure they're looking into it. For Amazon, I think, I just saw a thing from Amazon saying, basically, if you don't have the right documentation if you don't have everything set up from tomorrow, they're just going to deactivate your listings, like for everything that's going to the EU. So they've made it interesting. Folksy's doing now. People, this is something that people are saying is open to dispute, but the guidelines do say that it's okay for products that have been available on the market before tomorrow. They're okay to still be sold. So Folksy's keeping a list of all listings that are on just now to tell
Grandfathering them in.
exactly. Although some people are saying that's only grandfathering in things that are already in the EU. I honestly don't. I read it if you have listings in your. I read it like Folksy. If you have something created and it's already listed, it's grandfathered in. That's how I read it, but other people read it differently.
Sounds like we should just like play it safe, and everybody, you know, will sit around and wait for somebody big and more famous to get in trouble, and then we'll learn from their mistakes rather than trying to risk ourselves. Because I've had a couple of people who have reached out to me and they've said, can I just ignore this? Like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm like, well, I can't give you legal advice, and the worst that could happen is you get in a bunch of trouble. I mean, I don't know. We have no idea. I
Yeah,
know that
we'll find out what's the worst that can happen when somebody else gets sued. let it be
right.
somebody else.
Yeah.
As I say, my shop's in vacation mode. I know Brian turned off to the EU because he sent me a file. We made a video on that because a lot of people were asking. It's very easy to switch off to the EU. So yeah, it's a pain. I know it's been frightening. I promise you, probably in 6 months' time, we'll be like, "What's that? What's that thing?"
And you posted that video on the it's on the eRank channel?
No, it's my own.
Okay. I will
My
link
own channel.
that for them because I'm sure that that's
Although
something.
it probably should have been the eRank channel. It's me, Brian, and Jessica are showing you how to turn off shipping in different countries. And for everyone not in for America and Canada at least, I don't know if it's the rest of the world, you guys are so lucky. Your shipping profiles are way more fun. You can turn off individual countries. We have to go in and make a different, go into every country we want to ship to and turn it on. It's so if anyone wants to see that and commiserate with how rubbish the system that we've got, check out that video. Or if you want to know how to switch things off in the US, Canada, and the UK, we've got some
Yeah,
help.
for us it's just international, all of it.
Yeah, but you do have the options. You've got Europe and individual countries and things you can switch on and off, but no, ours is awful. Etsy, sort that out, please.
Well, there you guys go. There's the link if you need it. I mean, honestly, if I were you guys, I would grab that link and just save it somewhere, bookmark it, keep it somewhere. And then anytime you see someone in an Etsy group asking about it, because I get it all the time, and now I'm happy that you did this video because I haven't had time to make a video about it. I haven't even done it in my shop. I plan to do it tonight. So I'm just going to start linking it because I haven't wanted to touch it. And if you guys already did it, that's perfect. I will share it everywhere. And I encourage everybody to do the same because clearly this is something that people are going to start talking about probably as of tomorrow. They're going to start panicking because they're going to hear about this thing that has to, you know, that they should have done and they didn't hear about it. Which is crazy because, you know, what about the sellers that don't keep up with, you know, news? Like this is so easy to miss.
I know. I spoke to my mum last week and she hadn't heard a single thing about it. And that's my mum. She even watches some of my videos sometimes. So I don't know, because I would say a good 90% of sellers don't keep up to date on anything. They just sell. They're not in the forums. They're not here with you guys. They're not listening to any videos. They just put listings up and sell or don't sell. And I'm sure that's possibly some really big sellers as well, because I know when you're super busy, like when I've been getting millions of views, that's a slight exaggeration. When I've been getting a load of sales, I'm not in the forums. I'm not sitting around trying to figure out things. I'm shipping out my orders. That's all I'm paying attention to.
Right.
And Etsy hasn't done an announcement on our dashboards or anything yet, but people missed that as well. That's why I made a video a couple of weeks ago, and it's why we've been talking about it here. At the very least, because people are talking about it, hopefully these kind of videos reach a little bit more people. But even though we don't have much to say, sadly, all we can say is we're not entirely sure. It's, unless you're a very, very big shop at the minute in time, it's probably best to just stop for a minute, switch off the EU at least. If you're digital, I don't know, probably take a little break if you can.
Yeah, just wait it out a little while until we have more details. And here's the thing. Anyone who says right now that they have all the answers and here's exactly what all this means, and they aren't a legal professional, be wary. Because Pam and I were just talking before, the stream started. This could be a very profitable opportunity for people in the EU to serve as, these individuals who kind of serve to represent your companies. And I can see this potentially turning into something skeezy and scammy as well. People who say, I can help you.
Yes, there's going to be a lot. Oh, Amy messages. She's saying she's a legal consultant, setting some time aside this weekend to look into this. Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely give us a yell. That's we want the proper legal people who can read the legalese and translate it for us, because that's every word that myself and Starla have said is not legal, and we don't know anything more than what anyone says. But yeah, I'm just, this is a daft one, but I'm just remembering when we're talking about how all these things came in, the town I'm living in just now is the reason that we have a lot of this legislation for things have to be what they say they are. There's actually a court case hundreds of years ago. This is disgusting. I'm sorry, guys, turn away just now. But somebody sued a manufacturer of ginger beer because they found snails in their bottle of ginger beer. It was decided that your items have to contain what they say they contain, so ginger beer shouldn't contain snails.
There's a percentage here in things like canned corn of how much bug can be in your
food. I read
that's allowed to be in there.
Yeah, you have an allowable amount of cockroach legs in your chocolate.
Yeah.
Thankfully, thanks to the EU standards, our allowable limit is 0.
Yeah, you can put all kinds of stuff, though they are talking about finally banning red 40. It's already not allowed in the UK, and actually I think all of Europe.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere banned it apart from you guys. And it's like, hey, you kids want to be hyper? On you go.
Yum. But yeah, they're finally talking about getting rid of that. So, not giving our children cancer might be the way to go. I'm sure there's better ways to color your food. But anyway, yeah, Trish said Printify sent out an email yesterday about it. They did. I saw that. I have not had a time to go over it. But for those who utilize Printify, Trish, did they give any clear guidance, or is it the same kind of spiel that we're getting from Etsy and everybody?
Yeah, I'll post the link if I can, but I think they basically said, which is quite useful, that they are going to be your responsible person.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had a chance. I saw it come into my inbox and I plan to look into it tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I had a quick look. I'm going to look over it again myself. But they definitely seem a lot more helpful because, as you know, Printify is in the EU. So the items are being made in the EU and they can
some of them
vouch for how safe it is. Yeah, but the ones going to the EU should be printed in the EU so they can vouch for how safe it is because they're already doing it. I don't know. Everyone have a proper read. I didn't read it properly, but that's but they've definitely done a lot of help there for everyone who's doing print on demand with them. So I hoped they would come up with something. These companies are usually pretty quick off the mark because that would lose them a whole lot of money. So you still need to follow the regulations because you're creating the designs, but they know what inks they're using, they know all of the things that are going on, so they can be a little more helpful with that.
Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they'd like me to do. They actually wanted me to do a video for them, but it was smack dab in the middle of HAA being open. So I might reach out and say, hey, I couldn't do that, but what if I did this instead?
Yeah, sounds good. Definitely. We've had a lot of print on demand people asking what happens, so good to know. I think second only to digital people and people in the EU wanting to know what happens. So yeah, we're trying to find out things.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a little while, guys. But like Pam said, just since we're entering the slow season, just pop off that shipping to the EU. Just even if it's just for even if it's just for Q1, just so we can try to figure out and get more legal oriented advice, because right now what we're getting mostly is just speculative and trying to decipher multiple articles that all kind of contradict themselves. It's
Yeah.
No one really has clear answers yet, but
Anna, I totally agree. It might ultimately be safer, better standards for consumer goods. Absolutely. I mean, this has been something, it's sort of always been in the back of my mind for years because in the UK, well, in any country, there's certain standards for things. So when you were buying things, you knew it had to be at a certain standard. And then you accidentally order some weight loss drugs off Amazon or something. We assumed that was a decent standard, but it's not. It's coming from wherever. So basically, I think it's what we all assumed was things we were buying in the UK were at the UK standard, but they're not. Anna, yeah, there's probably lead in our 80s toys. I watched a thing just last week saying Gen Xers, everything there was lead in the exhausts of our cars because there was lead in the petrol, there was lead in the toys. We actually have lost about 3 or 4 points on our IQ from being born in the 70s or 80s. There was so much horrible stuff back then.
No kidding, because we didn't know. I mean, cigarettes were cool at one time. That can't hurt you. You can smoke while you're pregnant. It's we live and we learn, and now we're kind of in the transitional period of trying to do something that in the long run might be really, really good for us, but the growing pains are going to be a big pain in the butt, just like finding out, oh, we probably shouldn't use lead paint on things. Oh, wait, look around us. Everything's painted with lead paint. So I'm sure that was difficult as well. But
I think we're sorting out the safety for physical things, and then along comes AI. And I watched Terminator again last night. I probably shouldn't have done. I'm going like, have we just made the Terminator? Susanna, I love this. I already stupid proofed my shop.
You always should.
Yeah, that's what we should all be doing. And hopefully this EU thing will at least make us be stupid proofing our shop. Just look at your items and I'm going to stop buying things off of Amazon when I'm in a hurry and I need some like pipe cleaners or something. I'm better off having a better process that I know where my stuff's coming from. I'm going to think about, how to stupid proof it. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Michelle would ask, I'm noticing more customers getting free shipping through Etsy's insider program. Does this explain Etsy's $6 threshold that they're pushing on us? I haven't really seen anything from the Etsy insider program. It's kind of, for me personally, I haven't noticed much, but
I've heard a few people saying they're only seeing it because they're seeing that their customers got free shipping. I think, yeah, Yes, that might have something to do with the $6 threshold, because before that they were pushing free shipping, but free shipping's a perk of Insider, so maybe they don't want to push free shipping because, I don't know, speculating, but don't know.
I think they're trying to do everything that they can to regain their traction after having a really crappy year, and their investors are getting antsy about it. So they're trying everything they can at this point, which good on them. That's good. It doesn't address some of the core issues that are going on with Etsy, like
Yeah.
shops getting suspended for no reason and not getting the best support. But at least
Yeah.
it's progress, right?
I see them. Yeah, she said they're pushing it in us, that she meant on us. I didn't
Yeah.
even notice. Yes. Oh, good question.
Oh
Besides
yeah.
planning for Valentine's Day, should Easter, spring items be posted now? Collections, anything else? Guys, Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Mother's Day in the UK is a good couple of months sooner than everywhere else. So if you sneak in early and get some sales for Mother's Day, you have a bit of authority for those keywords and you know what people are probably searching for. So you might, I mean, Mother's Day in the US is the big selling time on Etsy compared to the UK, but there's always a little bump of people in the UK buying. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of 4 months in advance. We just had a student post that she's selling her Valentine's Day cards right now. And if you go into the keyword tool, obviously we don't have December data yet, but we can tell you what was, popular yesterday. If you go into eRank, into the keyword tool, and search for Valentine's Day, there will be an alert at the top of the keyword tool that says that people are already searching for this thing. This is a popular keyword right now. I don't know who these people are who are already buying their Valentine's Day stuff, but we have to think that by February, which, most people get into Valentine's Day mode in February, by February, it's already almost too late because Valentine's Day is February 14th. So most of the purchases for Valentine's Day are going to take place in January. January is what, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks away.
yeah, January's practically now. I'm done with December. There's a little bit of drinking and eating cheese, and then it's January pretty
Can
much.
you can you highlight that trend alert?
Yep.
Looky
So
there.
yeah,
So
you see these little things on stuff that's been searched, and you can even see
the little
in November. This doesn't look much because of the scale of things, but in November, nearly 7,000 people in the US were searching for Valentine's Day.
yeah. We
That's
want to, and look at
crazy.
last year. Look at when they started last year. It matches, which means that January next month, that's when we're going to see the biggest spike. So don't wait to list these things. You should already be listing Valentine's Day. And like Pam said, Mother's Day, St. Patrick's Day is big in the US. I know, Pam, you guys like to laugh at how crazy we are because it's just a
Yeah.
drinking holiday here. But still, I see even my daughter's school, the teachers are looking for cute St. Patrick's Day teacher shirts to wear to their classrooms. There's all kinds of ways that you can take advantage of these trends. So definitely get this stuff listed. Mother's Day.
Yeah, that was January last year in the UK. There was a pickup for. Hang on, we've got a trend alert for Mother's Day just now.
Already. And then switch that to the US. I'm curious to see when it starts in the US.
Yep. This is the fun thing, guys. If you didn't know, you can. Oh, yeah, there's other things we've got to look at. Yeah, so January, see, here's the little spikes. People in January are searching because in America, you have British people.
That's true.
There's some. But yeah, the big spike was at May, but by March, they're definitely searching.
Yeah. 21,000. That's a lot of searches.
Yeah. Don't forget, you can check all sorts of countries. And we also, this is fairly new, global. You can search, pull it all together, see what's happening in the entire world if you sell globally. So yeah, for Mother's Day, and yeah, still popular. For Mother's Day, definitely 20,000 searches in January last year for Mother's Day. The peak 105,000 in April.
And only 26 competitors. I don't think
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, the competitors. Well, I actually have to speak to the team about that. Actually, yeah, because competitors are. It's showing competitors in the country you've searched for. Unfortunately, the way Etsy gives us the data, so competitors when you're searching the US, that's shops in the US. That are using that keyword. So I don't know how global works. There shouldn't be any competitors there. So interesting. I'll definitely have to mention that to the team. Yeah.
Let's see. Lorenzo had asked, posting a QR code to sign up for a mailing list in your photos is okay to do on Etsy. So what recently happened was we did have some sellers who were attempting to send that QR code in Etsy messages, and that got them in trouble because and using short URLs like bit.ly and tiny URL and can't remember what the other one, big one is. But using a link shortener and then sending those in Etsy messages, recommending, that their customer, hey, if you want to save like 30% off on your next order, sign up for my mailing list for an automatic coupon code, which is exactly what I teach in Handmade Alpha Academy. But because Etsy is now kind of keeping a closer eye on our conversations due to the amount of scammers, like you guys have seen all the scammers on Etsy that are like, oh, I am Etsy support. Scan this QR code to verify your shop. Things like QR codes and shortened links, which are often used to mask a malicious link. They'll put it in a link shortener so that you can't see that that is not coming from Etsy. Because of this, Etsy has, they've suspended a couple people for doing this within Etsy messages. But Etsy does encourage us to have mailing lists. They have an entire article. If you search, Etsy blog mailing or email marketing, there's a whole blog on it. So far, as of right now, as long as you are using an image within your Etsy listing photos as a way to incentivize the purchase to take place on Etsy. So saying scan this QR code to get an automatic coupon for your Etsy purchase or something like that. We have not seen any issues with that. And that's what I've always recommended, throw it in there, because if somebody's about to buy something, like they're ready to buy it, and then they see, oh crap, I can save money on the thing that I'm about to buy right now, they're more likely to, to scan that QR code. Another suggestion, if because if you're shopping on mobile, scanning a QR code is a little hard, because how do you scan a QR code when you're on your phone? You can also spend a couple bucks, spend a little bit of money, go buy yourself a little shortened URL and redirect it to your mailing list sign up page. Maybe it's, whatever you name your VIP club. I could call it, alphavips.com, or for my Etsy shop, booksandcoldbrews.com, and I could buy that, but then just redirect it to my mailing list sign up page so that there's an easy URL for them to type in, and then it would then redirect. So those are a couple ways to do it. Haven't seen any issues with people utilizing their mailing list links. After all, Etsy does encourage us to do it. But just be very cautious of the things that you send in Etsy direct messages. You can send a mailing list link, as far as I know, via Etsy conversation, as long as, you're not just going through and messaging random people and say, or, going through all your past hundreds of customers and messaging them out of the blue, but just mentioning it if you're having a casual conversation. Hey, they message your shop and say, do you offer any coupons? And then you say, yes, actually I do. Those who join my mailing list automatically save 20% off. Here's the link if you'd like to join. These are natural, organic conversations that are hopefully taking place on Etsy. And as long as you are putting in that link and it's not been shortened through a link shortener, as of right now, I haven't seen any issues with it. But again, Etsy messages, be wary of. The Etsy photos, though, I haven't seen any instances of anyone getting in trouble doing it, because it's encouraging people to buy on Etsy. Now, if you put on there, hey, you could get this cheaper on my website, go to my Shopify instead, that could cause an issue.
Yeah, that's totally against the rules. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Starla was saying this is because of bad actors doing real scammy things. You now can't send send an image in your first message to somebody,
Oh,
customer to you or you to the customer.
I was able to because I just bought a digital or a customizable product and they needed me to submit a logo and I was able to attach it
Oh,
because it was a
maybe they've
requirement
changed
for
it,
my
or maybe it's just rolling out. But I heard someone said it, and I thought I had a couple of customers message me and say, "Oh, how do we send you images? Because
oh
we can't attach a message." And then they'd come back and they'd go, "Oh, I can now. That's weird." And I
oh
looked. So definitely for me, when I go to send a message, the first message, I can't attach.
maybe they realize because of the nature of personalized products, maybe they're allowing the customers to do it, but not the sellers to do it. Because if you're getting like a custom photo product or something like that, you have to be able to,
Yeah.
reach out to that seller and send that image.
Yeah, could be because I don't. My listings aren't set up with Etsy's personalizable things. I just say
Uh,
it's a custom thing. Yeah, that would make sense. Maybe I
um,
have to change that.
Anna said, if I would like to sell a German printable and write my tags and titles in German, will Etsy do some kind of additional translate anyway, as I'm in Ireland? So Etsy will, but they tell us that translations that we do as sellers will overwrite their automatic translations. And they say that our translations will probably be better than their automated translations. Though I wonder how that is going to change as Etsy begins, utilizing AI more and more, because I feel like with AI, Etsy could get them a lot better than say like Google Translate used to be.
I don't know. We'll see. I think AI is also going to make some interesting mistakes as well. Well, just Chat GPT's latest version made some interesting headlines the other day, because it started lying to them to try and not get itself switched off, which is Terminator. It literally started deliberately lying. So
Yeah, spooky. Um,
terrifying. It's great for. I mean, I every time I hear these, I just jump into these things and try and get it to misbehave. But at the same time, it's also terrifying.
yeah. So and Pascal had the same question. So if you're, especially like you said, I see many search words in eRank spotted on Etsy are German. Does Etsy translate them themselves, or is it okay that I put some German tags? I would definitely, if you've got the tag space and you're noticing that you're being found for those terms, I'd toss a couple in your tags, even if Etsy's automatically translating them for you. If it's showing for spotted on Etsy for those terms, I mean, I would be putting them in your tags. Maybe don't do like your whole title in 2 languages, but pop a couple of those into your tags if you're noticing them.
Yeah, why not? And yeah, there are ways. I've never done it. You can do translations in your shop. I'm not sure how it works. Perhaps some of our international sellers could tell us. But yeah, definitely. If Etsy is translating them, and if you're getting seen, it's doing a good enough job. But perhaps if you could put in the correct words in the right language, they would understand even more.
Yeah. Um, then let's see. Michael had asked, will the U.S. tariffs affect sales on Etsy overall? We don't know. This is one of those crystal ball scenarios where nobody knows, and it's one of those things that we have to wait out and see how it goes. Personally, this is just 100% speculative on my part, but I think that in time, we're going to see just how much, if this goes through, we're going to see how much it actually affects the American people's day to day. I don't think that, all things considered, especially when it comes to small businesses, there's so much that comes from China. And we might say, yes, that made in America, but the supplies, yes, it might be made in America, but the supplies might have come from China. There are most crafting supplies are coming from other countries. So with that in mind, I think that we just have to, again, it's another one of those wait and see scenarios. It's probably going to take a little bit of time for us to all understand exactly how things are changing. But once they do, I think that no matter what, if things start to go badly to the point where it's causing an economic issue, especially with so much coming from countries like China, I do think that things will change because there's just so much that we have to rely on. So obviously no politics here, especially, you know, not around poor Pam. She's not even from America. So she's hearing all this, you know, from across the pond. But it's just a wait and see scenario. But here's the thing, right? I know a lot of people in the U.S. and myself included are nervous about what's going to happen with, you know, all of these individuals who rely on supplies that ship from other countries. But it's going to be a level playing field because everyone will be affected, right? Everybody will be facing the same challenges. All of your competitors are going to face the same challenges. So it's not like, you know, only you will be affected, everyone will. Therefore, the playing field will be level for everyone, at least for a while, until you know, until we figure out what direction things are going to go.
Yeah, I think it's very similar but different to the EU thing in that things are changing partially for good reasons and partially for not well thought out reasons. And it's going to shake about for a couple of years and we'll have forgotten about it. It will settle down eventually. But what I really hate with all of these things, when I started on Etsy many, many years ago, it was so exciting because the world was such a small place. We could literally ship anywhere in the world really easily for under a fiver. It was so easy. And now the world seems to be getting bigger and more closed off, and it's much harder to ship to places. And I feel really sad about that. So hopefully things will shake out and we'll get back to how it was, but with maybe a little more safety and sort of fairness things. Because, yeah, it became too easy to be able to get cheap, potentially not safe things, potentially not made in the best way or the most ethically. There was too much of that, and it's hurt those of us who are just small businesses just trying to make a little bit of money off of our crafts. So
Crappy
hopefully
people
things
doing
will.
crappy things affecting the way that the rest of us run our businesses.
Who
You mean
knew?
people out there are selling products that aren't safe to make money? No, like it's the same,
I'm just
you know,
saying that Starla does YouTube face in real life.
it's all the same, you know, it's the same reason that all the crappy Temu drop shippers have made Etsy more complicated for everybody. It's why Pam, you know, talked at the beginning about making sure that you're being authentic because authenticity is dying. I mean, a lot of people are saying, well, clearly this stuff is working for these scammy people, so maybe I should do that too. Maybe I should list 600 products a day on Etsy. Sure, it might be working for them for a minute, but trust me, there's no longevity in this because people are already starting to get sick of it. So we're all in this boat together, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got, let's see, two more. Caitlin, I was retaking some photos this week because some of my photos were dark and a little blurry, but when I put new ones up that aren't blurry or dark, Etsy says main picture isn't good, low resolution. It sounds like your camera settings might just not be optimal. Your photo sizes might be too small. I would recommend taking all those photos, popping them into Canva, and just increasing your canvas size, your project size, because then you'll still retain you know, the overall quality, but the actual file size itself will be bigger. That would be an easy way to fix it if you are unsure.
Yeah, if you've got a pro membership of Canva, you can usually get a link for a free month or something.
Well, you should be
Upgrade.
able to do it with a free membership too. It just needs to be a minimum of 2,000 pix. 2,000. I would do 2,200 pixels wide. I don't think that height matters, but try to aim for a minimum of 2,200 pixels wide, which I believe that you can do with the free membership. I don't think that that's.
Yeah, you can make the canvas just resize, and certain things are pro, certain things are not, but
Yeah.
definitely run them through Canva. That's what I'm going to do with some of my old Etsy images because they're good pictures. They're just not the right size anymore.
All right. And then the last one, Lorenzo. Okay, there's two here. Does Etsy adjust in US for USPS raising their rates? I'm POD now, but I believe so. But if somebody knows better, feel free to chime in. Another one is supposed to come, and should we translate that out or that into our prices before it happens or after? Another. Okay, so another rate.
Yeah,
increase.
another raise. Yeah, I think your calculated shipping's calculated, but if you do free shipping, you'll have to change it.
Yes. But I would assume that calculated shipping is going to adapt and change as USPS prices change. I would assume that those aren't just, going to remain in place. Unfortunately, I don't know until those rates increase. I'm assuming that in the past it's probably adapted. Otherwise, people would be complaining about it. So this is another wait and see thing. But I'm going to assume for now. And obviously, like Pam said, if you're offering free shipping and, shipping is included in the item price, you're going to need to go in and adjust those. Or if you're doing, $6 shipping and then eating the rest of the cost or absorbing it, don't eat the cost, absorb it into your product cost. If you're doing that, then obviously you're going to have to accommodate for that price increase. But calculated shipping should take care of that for you, I would think. If not, then that's something that you need to bug Etsy about, because they absolutely should be.
Yeah, if you don't have calculated shipping, if you're like us in the UK and you put in your own shipping price, you will have to adjust everything, but you can go into your listings and you can go into your shipping profiles and adjust it for all your listings that are connected to that. So if you're not using shipping profiles, use shipping profiles because then you can change everything easily.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us and keeping us company. We will be back. Let's see. Let's see. Thursday the 19th. Yep, I will be here. I'm just making sure that. And then Thursday after Christmas, I'm not quite sure about that one, Pam.
No, I think we'll make next week the last one. That can be our Christmas party, and we'll come back in January.
Yeah, I'm thinking that anytime we have one of these close to Christmas or right after Christmas, then nobody shows up. So come next week, we'll be here. Week after that, we all get a vacation. Maybe we can do something fun next week. Maybe we can
have a party.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll wear Christmas shirts.
I've only got 2 Christmas shirts. I'd ordered a third one, but it's not turned up. So you'll see my other Christmas shirt.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.